The forged signature authorization letter fluttered from my fingers onto the mahogany conference table as I watched my Uncle Thomas Martinez present what he believed were legitimate financial documents to our assembled family members at the annual trust fund meeting. His voice carrying the false authority of someone who had spent months perfecting my handwriting while systematically planning to embezzle over $2 million from the family inheritance that had been legally established in my name following grandmother's careful estate planning and generational wealth protection. Jordan has finally agreed to the trust fund restructuring that will better serve our family's long-term financial security, Thomas announced to the 12 relatives gathered in the law office conference room, displaying documents that contain my allegedly signed authorization for transferring trust assets to accounts he controlled while presenting himself as the financial advisor who had convinced me to make decisions that would benefit everyone's inheritance and retirement planning. I remained perfectly motionless in my chair at the head of the conference table, maintaining the composed expression of a trust fund beneficiary who was mildly surprised by Uncle's announcement while my mind processed the culmination of 6 months of systematic financial fraud, not just the forgery of my signature on legal documents, but Thomas's elaborate scheme to appropriate family wealth while positioning himself as the responsible elder who was protecting everyone's financial future. The presentation continued as Thomas detailed restructuring proposals and investment strategies that would require my authorization while the family members who had trusted his financial guidance for years nodded approvingly at what they believed was collaborative estate planning rather than witnessing the systematic theft of inheritance assets that had been protected through 3 generations of careful legal planning. The new investment structure will provide enhanced returns while reducing tax liability, Thomas declared while distributing portfolio materials that contained forged documents and fraudulent financial projections, each page representing months of criminal preparation designed to transfer my inheritance to his control while maintaining the appearance of legitimate family financial management and estate optimization. The new investment structure will provide enhanced returns while reducing tax liability. The confident presentation that positioned systematic theft as family financial planning while concealing months of document forgery and criminal preparation that violated both family trust and federal banking regulations governing estate management and inheritance protection. But as I watched Thomas bask in family approval while presenting his masterpiece of financial fraud and inheritance theft, I felt my phone vibrate with a call I had been expecting for 3 weeks, a call that would transform his moment of triumph into the beginning of his criminal prosecution and family disgrace. "Excuse me, Thomas," I said quietly while answering the call with speakerphone activated so that my conversation would be audible throughout the conference room filled with relatives who believed they were participating in legitimate estate planning. "This is First National Bank calling about the trust fund authorization documents that were submitted this morning." This is First National Bank calling about the trust fund authorization documents submitted this morning. The bank representative's words created immediate silence in the conference room while Thomas's confident expression transformed into confused alarm as he realized that his carefully orchestrated financial fraud was about to encounter institutional security measures he had never anticipated. The voice that came through my phone belonged to Catherine Rodriguez, Senior Vice President of Estate Services, whose tone carried the professional authority of someone delivering information that would change everything about how this family meeting concluded. "Jordan, we need to discuss some irregularities we've discovered in the signature verification process for the trust transfer authorization," Catherine announced clearly enough for all family members to hear. "Our forensic document analysis has identified systematic forgery patterns that require immediate investigation and potential criminal prosecution for bank fraud and estate theft. We need to discuss irregularities in signature verification with forensic analysis, identifying systematic forgery patterns requiring investigation and potential criminal prosecution." The banking security revelation that eliminated Thomas's assumption of success while providing family members with immediate understanding that they had been witnessing criminal activity rather than legitimate financial planning. "Actually, Catherine," I replied while maintaining direct eye contact with Thomas, whose face had gone completely pale as he processed the comprehensive failure of his criminal scheme. "I suppose that settles the question of whether some people think fraud succeeds through good forgery, or whether banks actually verify signatures before transferring millions of dollars." The quote hung in the legal office air like an indictment. Around the conference table, Family members exchanged glances that revealed their growing awareness that Thomas's financial expertise had actually been systematic criminal activity designed to steal their inheritance while maintaining his reputation as trustworthy family financial advisor. What Thomas didn't know as he watched his elaborate fraud collapse in front of 12 witnesses was that I had discovered his document forgery and theft planning 3 months ago, and I had spent that time not confronting him privately or seeking family mediation, but working with federal investigators and banking security specialists to ensure his criminal behavior would result in comprehensive prosecution and asset recovery that would protect the entire family from financial exploitation. The family financial relationship between Thomas Martinez and me had been built on what I believed was genuine care for inherited wealth preservation and shared commitment to maintaining the trust fund that grandmother had established to provide financial security for 3 generations of Martinez family members through careful investment management and legal protection that honored her legacy of financial responsibility. Jordan's inheritance requires experienced guidance and professional financial management, Thomas had explained during family discussions following grandmother's death 18 months earlier, positioning himself as the elder family member whose business expertise and investment knowledge qualified him to provide oversight and strategic direction for trust fund management that would serve everyone's long-term financial interests and retirement security. Jordan's inheritance requires experienced guidance and professional financial management. The family service that Thomas had offered while concealing personal financial difficulties and mounting business debts that would later motivate his systematic theft of family assets through document forgery and criminal appropriation of trust fund resources that grandmother had legally protected for family benefit. During the first year of his involvement with trust management, Thomas had been consistently helpful and knowledgeable, providing investment advice and estate planning guidance that appeared to be motivated by family loyalty and genuine concern for wealth preservation rather than personal financial desperation and criminal intent that would eventually threaten the entire family's inheritance security. The trust fund performance has been exceptional under Thomas's guidance. Family members had often acknowledged while appreciating the quarterly financial reports and investment updates that demonstrated steady growth and professional management, never suspecting that their financial advisor was simultaneously accumulating gambling debts and business losses that would eventually motivate systematic theft and criminal fraud. Trust fund performance has been exceptional under Thomas's guidance. The family confidence that Thomas had systematically cultivated while building credibility and access that would later enable document forgery and criminal appropriation through administrative authority and family trust that concealed mounting personal financial crisis and criminal intent. But the warning signs that I had attributed to business stress and market pressures had actually been evidence of Thomas's escalating financial desperation and systematic study of trust fund procedures while he developed strategies for accessing protected assets through legal manipulation and document forgery that would bypass institutional safeguards and family oversight. I need to understand all aspects of trust administration to provide better oversight, Thomas had begun requesting during recent months, asking for comprehensive access to estate planning documents, banking procedures, and signature authorization protocols that would enable him to forge my credentials and appropriate family assets while maintaining his position as trusted financial advisor. I need to understand all aspects of trust administration to provide better oversight. The reasonable request that had seemed like appropriate financial stewardship but was actually strategic preparation for criminal fraud through systematic study of security procedures and legal documentation that would enable document forgery and asset appropriation while avoiding immediate detection. The estate planning sessions that Thomas had insisted on attending included detailed review of inheritance structures, beneficiary rights, and administrative procedures that provided him with comprehensive understanding of trust fund operations and security protocols that would later inform his criminal strategy for bypassing legal protections and institutional oversight. Family coordination requires administrative understanding and procedural knowledge, Thomas had explained while gathering information about banking relationships, signature verification, and transfer authorization that would enable systematic fraud while maintaining the appearance of legitimate family financial management and estate coordination that concealed criminal intent and personal financial motivation. Family coordination requires administrative understanding and procedural knowledge. The family justification that enabled Thomas to gather strategic intelligence about trust fund security while positioning his interest as family service rather than criminal preparation for systematic theft and document forgery that would appropriate inheritance assets for personal financial benefit. The business consultation that we had conducted together for investment strategy and asset allocation had given Thomas detailed access to my signature patterns, writing style, and authorization preferences while providing opportunities to study and practice forging my credentials through document preparation and administrative coordination that appeared legitimate. Investment coordination requires signature consistency and documentation standards, Thomas had explained while observing my document signing and gathering samples that would later enable sophisticated forgery through handwriting analysis and signature replication that could potentially bypass banking security and institutional verification procedures. Investment coordination requires signature consistency and documentation standards. The technical justification that enabled Thomas to study my signature patterns while concealing systematic preparation for document forgery and criminal fraud that would attempt to appropriate family trust assets through sophisticated document manipulation and identity theft that violated federal banking and estate regulations. The family business network that Thomas had carefully built over 2 decades included relationships with attorneys, accountants, and financial advisors who trusted his professional reputation while providing services that would later enable his systematic fraud through document preparation, legal consultation, and financial planning that appeared legitimate but served criminal appropriation of family assets. Thomas has excellent relationships with professional service providers. Family members had observed while appreciating his ability to coordinate legal, accounting, and investment services through established business networks that seem to provide superior financial management and estate planning compared to individual professional consultation that might lack comprehensive coordination and family understanding. Thomas has excellent relationships with professional service providers. The network credibility that concealed Thomas's systematic recruitment of professional accomplices and service providers who would assist document forgery and asset appropriation through legal consultation, accounting manipulation, and financial services that appeared legitimate while serving criminal fraud and inheritance theft. The estate planning coordination that Thomas had managed through his professional network included complex legal documentation and administrative procedures that provided multiple opportunities for document manipulation and signature forgery, while maintaining the appearance of legitimate family financial management and professional estate coordination that honored grandmother's wishes and legal requirements. Professional coordination ensures compliance and optimal estate management, Thomas had explained while managing relationships with attorneys and accountants who provided services that would later enable criminal fraud through document preparation and administrative assistance that concealed systematic theft and legal manipulation while maintaining professional credibility and family trust. Professional coordination ensures compliance and optimal estate management. The service justification that enabled Thomas to coordinate criminal fraud through professional networks while concealing systematic document forgery and asset appropriation from family members who trusted his business expertise and administrative capabilities without understanding criminal intent and financial desperation. But the discovery that would expose Thomas's criminal network had occurred on a quiet Wednesday morning when I received an unexpected call from attorney Patricia Torres, who had been providing legal services to Thomas while becoming increasingly concerned about document irregularities and administrative procedures that violated standard estate planning protocols and legal ethics requirements. I'm calling about concerns regarding Thomas Martinez's recent estate planning requests, Patricia had said with careful professional tone that indicated serious legal and ethical issues requiring immediate attention and potential investigation. Some of the documentation and signature requirements he's requested fall outside standard legal practice and may indicate problematic activity requiring professional oversight and family notification. I'm calling about concerns regarding Thomas's estate planning requests with documentation falling outside standard practice, indicating problematic activity requiring oversight. The professional warning that revealed Thomas's criminal activity had attracted attention from legal service providers who recognized document irregularities and administrative violations that suggested systematic fraud and criminal appropriation rather than legitimate estate planning and family financial management. The investigation that I had immediately initiated through private legal consultation revealed that Thomas had been systematically working with multiple professional service providers while requesting document preparation and administrative services that would enable forgery and asset appropriation through sophisticated legal manipulation and financial fraud that exceeded simple signature forgery to include comprehensive identity theft. Thomas has been requesting services from multiple providers involving document preparation that could enable systematic fraud, legal investigator Michael Torres had discovered. Through professional network analysis that revealed criminal conspiracy involving lawyers, accountants, and financial advisors who provided services that facilitated document forgery and asset appropriation while maintaining plausible deniability about criminal intent. Thomas requesting services involving document preparation that could enable systematic fraud revealing criminal conspiracy involving multiple providers facilitating forgery while maintaining plausible deniability. The evidence that transformed individual criminal behavior into organized conspiracy while demonstrating that Thomas's fraud involved professional networks and service providers who assisted criminal activity through legitimate business relationships and administrative services. The financial forensics investigation that had been conducted through banking analysis and account monitoring revealed that Thomas had been systematically transferring money between multiple accounts while building financial resources and professional relationships that would support document forgery and asset appropriation through complex financial structures and legal manipulation. Financial analysis reveals systematic account activity building resources for document forgery and asset appropriation, forensic specialist Amanda Rodriguez had documented. Through comprehensive banking investigation that proved Thomas's criminal planning involved substantial financial preparation and professional coordination rather than opportunistic fraud or simple signature forgery. Financial analysis reveals systematic activity building resources for forgery proving criminal planning involved substantial preparation and professional coordination rather than opportunistic fraud. The evidence that demonstrated Thomas's theft was professionally planned criminal enterprise rather than family financial dispute, requiring comprehensive legal response and criminal prosecution through federal authorities and professional regulatory agencies that addressed organized financial crime. The family asset protection analysis that had been immediately implemented through legal coordination revealed that Thomas's criminal activity threatened not just my inheritance, but the entire family's financial security through systematic appropriation and legal manipulation that could compromise trust fund integrity and generational wealth preservation that grandmother had carefully established. The sophisticated criminal infrastructure that Thomas had been building included document production capabilities, professional forgery services, and financial transfer systems that would enable systematic theft of trust fund assets while maintaining the appearance of legitimate administrative activity and family financial management that concealed federal crimes and regulatory violations. Thomas has developed sophisticated criminal infrastructure, including document production and professional forgery services, federal investigator Daniel Martinez had discovered. Through comprehensive criminal investigation that revealed organized financial fraud involving multiple federal crimes and regulatory violations requiring coordinated law enforcement response and asset recovery procedures. Thomas developed sophisticated infrastructure, including document production and forgery services, revealing organized financial fraud involving multiple federal crimes requiring coordinated law enforcement response. The criminal investigation that elevated Thomas's fraud from family financial dispute to federal criminal enterprise requiring comprehensive prosecution and asset recovery through multiple federal agencies and professional regulatory oversight that addressed organized financial crime and identity theft. The document analysis that had been conducted through federal forensic services revealed that Thomas had been practicing signature forgery and developing document production capabilities for over 6 months while building criminal expertise and administrative knowledge that would enable systematic asset appropriation through sophisticated legal manipulation and banking fraud. Document analysis reveals systematic signature forgery practice and criminal expertise development. Forensic specialist Patricia Rodriguez had confirmed through federal investigation that proved Thomas's criminal activity involved extensive preparation and professional criminal capability rather than opportunistic family financial manipulation or simple document alteration. Document analysis reveals systematic forgery practice proving criminal activity involved extensive preparation and professional capability rather than opportunistic manipulation or simple alteration. The forensic evidence that demonstrated Thomas's fraud was professionally executed criminal enterprise requiring federal prosecution and comprehensive asset recovery rather than family mediation or civil litigation that might otherwise enable continued criminal activity and financial exploitation. But the most shocking discovery had been evidence that Thomas had been systematically studying federal banking regulations and estate law while developing legal knowledge and administrative expertise that would enable sophisticated fraud through regulatory manipulation and institutional deception that exceeded typical family financial crime. Evidence reveals systematic study of federal regulations developing legal knowledge enabling sophisticated fraud through regulatory manipulation. Regulatory investigator Michael Rodriguez had documented through comprehensive investigation that proved Thomas's criminal planning involved advanced legal preparation and institutional knowledge that qualified his activities as organized financial crime. Evidence reveals systematic regulatory study developing legal knowledge proving criminal planning involved advanced preparation qualifying activities as organized financial crime. The federal evidence that confirmed Thomas's fraud involved professional criminal expertise and federal regulatory violations requiring comprehensive prosecution through multiple federal agencies and professional oversight rather than state-level investigation or family dispute resolution. The banking security investigation that had been triggered through institutional monitoring revealed that Thomas had been systematically testing security procedures and verification protocols while gathering intelligence about institutional safeguards and administrative procedures that would need to be overcome for successful asset appropriation. Banking security investigation reveals systematic testing of procedures and verification protocols while gathering intelligence about institutional safeguards, security. Specialist Amanda Torres had reported through institutional investigation that proved Thomas's criminal activity involved sophisticated reconnaissance and institutional manipulation rather than simple document forgery or opportunistic fraud. Security investigation reveals systematic testing of procedures proving criminal activity involved sophisticated reconnaissance and institutional manipulation rather than simple forgery or opportunistic fraud. The institutional evidence that demonstrated Thomas's fraud was professionally planned criminal enterprise targeting institutional security and federal regulatory systems through advanced criminal capability and professional coordination that exceeded family financial dispute. The federal coordination that had been established through law enforcement agencies ensured that Thomas's criminal activity would receive appropriate prosecution priority while comprehensive asset recovery protected family inheritance and federal regulatory systems from systematic criminal exploitation and professional fraud networks that threatened institutional security. Federal coordination ensures appropriate prosecution priority, while comprehensive asset recovery protects family inheritance and regulatory systems. Federal Coordinator Daniel Rodriguez had confirmed through interagency coordination that elevated Thomas's case to federal criminal priority, requiring coordinated prosecution and regulatory enforcement that addressed organized financial crime. Federal coordination ensures appropriate prosecution priority, with comprehensive recovery, protecting inheritance and regulatory systems elevating case to federal priority, requiring coordinated prosecution addressing organized crime. The federal framework that guaranteed Thomas's criminal behavior would receive serious legal consequences while protecting family assets and institutional security through comprehensive prosecution and regulatory enforcement that served broader justice system advancement and financial crime prevention. The family protection protocols that had been implemented through federal coordination ensure that other family members would receive appropriate legal protection and financial counseling while understanding their rights and legal options for recovery and protection from similar criminal targeting and family financial exploitation. Family protection protocols ensure other members receive legal protection and counseling while understanding rights and recovery options. Victim Services Specialist Patricia Martinez had arranged through federal victim protection that prioritized family well-being while ensuring criminal prosecution and asset recovery through comprehensive legal protection and family support services. Protection protocols ensure members receive legal protection and counseling while understanding recovery options, prioritizing family well-being while ensuring prosecution through comprehensive protection and family support. The family security framework that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability served family protection and education rather than creating additional trauma or financial insecurity that might otherwise compromise family relationships and individual recovery from criminal targeting and financial exploitation. The 3 months between discovering Thomas's criminal conspiracy and the family trust meeting had been dedicated to building comprehensive federal case while coordinating with banking security specialists and law enforcement agencies to ensure that Thomas's systematic fraud would trigger immediate criminal prosecution and complete asset recovery that protected family inheritance, and established legal precedent for family financial crime. Jordan's response strategy requires comprehensive federal coordination and banking security collaboration. Attorney Catherine Rodriguez had explained during legal coordination sessions that prepared both criminal prosecution and civil asset recovery procedures. Thomas's systematic fraud involves federal crimes and institutional deception, requiring coordinated law enforcement response and comprehensive legal protection that serves family security and justice advancement. Response strategy requires comprehensive federal coordination and banking security collaboration with systematic fraud involving federal crimes, requiring coordinated law enforcement response serving family security and justice advancement. The legal framework that would transform Thomas's criminal behavior into federal prosecution opportunity while protecting family assets through legitimate legal procedures and professional law enforcement that exceeded Thomas's criminal capabilities and defensive resources. The banking security coordination that had been established through First National Bank's Estate Services Division ensured that Thomas's fraudulent document submission would trigger immediate institutional security measures while comprehensive verification procedures exposed systematic forgery and criminal intent that required federal investigation and prosecution. Banking security coordination ensures fraudulent submission triggers immediate institutional measures while verification procedures expose systematic forgery requiring federal investigation. Banking security specialist Michael Torres had confirmed during institutional preparation that would prevent asset appropriation while documenting criminal evidence and maintaining legal chain of custody for prosecution. Banking coordination ensures fraudulent submission triggers institutional measures while verification exposes systematic forgery, requiring federal investigation, preventing appropriation while documenting criminal evidence for prosecution. The institutional protection that would ensure Thomas's fraud attempt resulted in immediate criminal exposure while protecting family assets through professional banking security and federal law enforcement coordination that honored estate protection and criminal justice procedures. But the most strategically valuable preparation had been establishing direct communication with federal financial crime units that specialized in estate fraud and family financial exploitation, ensuring that Thomas's criminal behavior would receive appropriate investigative priority and prosecutorial resources that addressed organized financial crime rather than simple family dispute. Direct communication with federal financial crime units ensures criminal behavior receives appropriate investigative priority, addressing organized financial crime rather than family dispute. Federal Liaison Specialist Amanda Rodriguez had coordinated through professional law enforcement that elevated Thomas's case to federal criminal priority requiring comprehensive investigation and prosecution. Direct communication ensures criminal behavior receives appropriate investigative priority, addressing organized financial crime rather than family dispute, elevating case to federal priority, requiring comprehensive investigation and prosecution. The federal coordination that would guarantee Thomas's fraud triggered serious criminal consequences while ensuring family protection through professional law enforcement and federal regulatory oversight that addressed systematic financial crime and institutional security threats. The evidence preservation coordination that had been implemented through digital forensics and document analysis ensured that Thomas's criminal activity would receive comprehensive documentation while preventing evidence destruction or manipulation that might otherwise compromise federal prosecution and asset recovery through legal procedure violations. Evidence preservation through digital forensics ensures comprehensive documentation while preventing destruction or manipulation. Forensic coordinator Daniel Martinez had established through federal investigation protocols that maintained legal standards while building conclusive evidence for criminal prosecution and civil asset recovery that protected family inheritance. Evidence preservation through digital forensics ensures comprehensive documentation while preventing destruction, maintaining legal standards while building conclusive evidence for prosecution and recovery, protecting family inheritance. The documentation framework that would ensure Thomas's criminal behavior received appropriate legal attention while federal evidence standards guaranteed successful prosecution and complete asset recovery through professional investigation and legal procedure compliance. The family communication strategy that had been developed through victim services and legal guidance ensured that relatives would understand federal criminal investigation and legal procedures rather than family conflict, preventing Thomas from continuing manipulation while establishing clear legal boundaries that protected family members from similar criminal targeting and financial exploitation. Family communication strategy ensures relatives understand federal investigation, rather than family conflict, preventing continued manipulation while establishing legal boundaries. Victim Services Coordinator Patricia Torres had prepared through federal victim protection that prioritized family education and legal understanding over emotional conflict and personal confrontation. Communication strategy ensures relatives understand federal investigation, preventing continued manipulation while establishing legal boundaries, prioritizing family education and legal understanding over emotional conflict and confrontation. The family protection framework that would ensure Thomas's criminal exposure served family education and legal protection rather than creating division or ongoing conflict that might otherwise compromise family relationships and individual understanding of legal rights and financial protection. The financial recovery coordination that had been established through federal asset protection and banking security would ensure that any attempted asset appropriation would result in immediate recovery and additional criminal charges while protecting family inheritance through institutional safeguards and federal regulatory enforcement. Financial recovery coordination ensures attempted appropriation results in immediate recovery and additional charges while protecting inheritance through institutional safeguards. Asset recovery specialist Michael Rodriguez had confirmed through federal financial protection that prevented criminal success while enhancing prosecution through additional evidence and criminal charges. Recovery coordination ensures attempted appropriation results in immediate recovery and additional charges, protecting inheritance through institutional safeguards, preventing criminal success while enhancing prosecution through additional evidence. The asset protection framework that would ensure Thomas's fraud attempt strengthened rather than compromise criminal prosecution while protecting family financial security through federal coordination and institutional security that exceeded Thomas's criminal capabilities and defensive strategies. The professional network analysis that had been conducted through federal investigation and regulatory oversight revealed that Thomas's criminal conspiracy involved multiple professional accomplices and service providers who had assisted document forgery and financial fraud through legitimate business relationships that concealed systematic criminal activity and federal regulatory violations. Professional network analysis reveals criminal conspiracy involving multiple accomplices assisting document forgery through legitimate business relationships concealing systematic criminal activity. Federal investigator Patricia Martinez had documented through comprehensive investigation that exposed organized criminal network requiring enhanced federal prosecution and professional regulatory sanctions. Network analysis reveals criminal conspiracy involving multiple accomplices assisting forgery through legitimate business relationships, exposing organized criminal network requiring enhanced federal prosecution and professional regulatory sanctions. The federal evidence that transformed individual criminal case into organized crime prosecution while demonstrating that Thomas's fraud involved professional criminal network, requiring comprehensive law enforcement response and regulatory oversight that addressed systematic financial crime. The regulatory compliance investigation that had been conducted through professional licensing and ethics oversight revealed that several attorneys, accountants, and financial advisors had provided services that enabled Thomas's criminal fraud while violating professional ethics and regulatory standards that required immediate professional sanctions and criminal prosecution. Regulatory compliance investigation reveals professional service providers violated ethics and standards requiring immediate sanctions and criminal prosecution. Regulatory specialist Daniel Torres had discovered through professional oversight that proved Thomas's criminal network involved licensed professionals who enabled systematic fraud through professional misconduct and regulatory violations. Compliance investigation reveals providers violated ethics requiring immediate sanctions and prosecution, proving criminal network involved licensed professionals enabling systematic fraud through misconduct and regulatory violations. The regulatory evidence that demonstrated Thomas's fraud was professionally facilitated criminal enterprise requiring comprehensive prosecution and professional sanctions that addressed both criminal behavior and regulatory violations that threatened institutional integrity and public trust. But the most damaging evidence had been financial analysis that revealed Thomas had been systematically paying professional accomplices and service providers through criminal proceeds and fraudulent transfers while building criminal network and maintaining professional relationships that facilitated ongoing fraud and asset appropriation. Financial analysis reveals systematic payment of accomplices through criminal proceeds while building network and maintaining relationships facilitating ongoing fraud. Financial Investigator Amanda Rodriguez had documented through forensic accounting that proved criminal conspiracy involving financial coordination and professional criminal organization that exceeded individual fraud. Financial analysis reveals systematic payment of accomplices through criminal proceeds, proving criminal conspiracy involving financial coordination and professional organization exceeding individual fraud. The forensic evidence that confirmed Thomas's criminal activity was organized financial crime involving professional criminal network requiring federal prosecution and asset recovery through comprehensive investigation and regulatory enforcement that addressed systematic criminal enterprise. The federal coordination that had been established through multiple law enforcement agencies ensured that Thomas's criminal network would receive comprehensive prosecution while professional accomplices faced appropriate criminal charges and regulatory sanctions that addressed both individual criminal behavior and professional misconduct that threatened regulatory systems. Federal coordination ensures criminal network receives comprehensive prosecution, while accomplices face charges and sanctions addressing individual behavior and professional misconduct. Federal prosecutor Michael Martinez had confirmed through interagency coordination that elevated criminal case to organized crime prosecution requiring enhanced resources and regulatory enforcement. Federal coordination ensures network receives comprehensive prosecution, while accomplices face charges addressing behavior and misconduct, elevating case to organized crime prosecution requiring enhanced resources and regulatory enforcement. The federal framework that guaranteed Thomas's criminal behavior would trigger serious legal consequences, while comprehensive prosecution addressed professional criminal network and regulatory violations that threatened institutional security and public protection. The institutional security enhancement that had been implemented through banking and regulatory coordination would prevent similar criminal targeting while establishing improved verification procedures and professional oversight that protected trust funds and estate planning from systematic criminal exploitation and professional fraud networks. Institutional security enhancement prevents similar targeting while establishing improved verification and professional oversight protecting trust funds from systematic exploitation. Security Coordinator Patricia Rodriguez had implemented through institutional coordination that converted Thomas's criminal case into security improvement and fraud prevention that served broader protection. Security enhancement prevents similar targeting while establishing improved verification protecting trust funds from systematic exploitation, converting criminal case into security improvement and fraud prevention serving broader protection. The institutional advancement that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability served broader security improvement while establishing enhanced protection standards for estate planning and financial institutions that prevented future criminal targeting and professional fraud. The victim advocacy program that had been established through federal coordination provided comprehensive support for families affected by professional financial fraud while creating educational resources and legal assistance that protected vulnerable individuals from similar criminal targeting and professional exploitation through family relationships. Victim advocacy program provides comprehensive support while creating educational resources protecting vulnerable individuals from similar targeting through family relationships. Advocacy Coordinator Daniel Martinez had established through federal victim services that transformed individual criminal case into community protection and education. Advocacy program provides comprehensive support while creating educational resources protecting vulnerable individuals from similar targeting, transforming individual criminal case into community protection and education. The social impact framework that ensured Thomas's criminal prosecution served broader community benefit while establishing victim protection and educational standards that prevented future criminal targeting and professional exploitation through family financial relationships and estate planning vulnerability. The timing coordination that had been carefully orchestrated through federal law enforcement and banking security would ensure that Thomas's fraudulent document submission would occur during maximum family witness exposure, while triggering immediate institutional security response and criminal evidence collection that would provide comprehensive prosecution foundation and family education about financial crime. Timing coordination ensures fraudulent submission occurs during maximum witness exposure, while triggering immediate institutional response and evidence collection coordination. Specialist Amanda Torres had arranged through federal law enforcement that would transform family meeting into educational demonstration of criminal accountability and financial protection. Timing coordination ensures fraudulent submission occurs during maximum witness exposure, while triggering immediate institutional response, transforming family meeting into educational demonstration of criminal accountability and financial protection. The strategic framework that would ensure Thomas's criminal behavior received appropriate family witness exposure, while institutional security procedures provided immediate protection and criminal evidence collection that served both justice and family education. The family preparation that had been conducted through victim services and legal education ensured that relatives would understand criminal prosecution and federal investigation procedures rather than experiencing traumatic surprise or confusion about law enforcement intervention and legal consequences that would affect family relationships and individual understanding of financial protection. Family preparation ensures relatives understand criminal prosecution procedures rather than experiencing traumatic surprise about law enforcement intervention, victim services. Specialist Michael Rodriguez had arranged through federal victim protection that prioritized family well-being while ensuring criminal accountability and legal education. Family preparation ensures relatives understand prosecution procedures rather than experiencing traumatic surprise, prioritizing family well-being while ensuring criminal accountability and legal education. The family protection framework that would ensure criminal intervention served family education and healing rather than creating additional trauma or confusion that might otherwise compromise family relationships and individual understanding of legal boundaries and financial security. But the most crucial preparation had been coordinating with Catherine Rodriguez at First National Bank to ensure that her call would occur at precisely the moment when Thomas's fraudulent presentation reached maximum family exposure, creating dramatic educational demonstration of institutional security and criminal accountability that would serve family protection and justice advancement. Coordination with Catherine Rodriguez ensures call occurs at maximum family exposure, creating dramatic demonstration of institutional security and criminal accountability. Banking coordinator Patricia Martinez had synchronized through professional coordination that would maximize educational impact while ensuring appropriate legal procedure and family protection. Coordination with Catherine ensures call occurs at maximum exposure, creating dramatic demonstration of institutional security and accountability, maximizing educational impact while ensuring appropriate legal procedure and family protection. The institutional coordination that would transform banking security procedure into family education opportunity while providing comprehensive criminal evidence collection and legal protection that honored both justice and family relationships through professional law enforcement coordination. The media strategy coordination that had been arranged through federal public information and community education would ensure that Thomas's criminal prosecution received appropriate publicity while serving educational purposes about family financial crime and professional fraud that protected potential victims and improved community awareness about estate security. Media strategy ensures criminal prosecution receives appropriate publicity while serving educational purposes about family financial crime, protecting potential victims and improving community awareness. Media coordinator Daniel Torres had prepared through federal public information that would convert individual criminal case into community education and victim protection. Media strategy ensures prosecution receives publicity while serving educational purposes about family financial crime, converting individual criminal case into community education and victim protection. The community education framework that would ensure Thomas's criminal accountability influenced community awareness and victim protection rather than serving only individual justice or family resolution that might otherwise limit social impact and educational opportunity for financial crime prevention. The legal precedent coordination that had been established through federal prosecution and regulatory oversight would ensure that Thomas's case contributed to financial crime law development while establishing enhanced protection for estate planning and family financial relationships that prevented similar criminal targeting and professional exploitation. Legal precedent coordination ensures case contributes to financial crime law development while establishing enhanced protection for estate planning, preventing similar targeting. Legal development specialist Amanda Rodriguez had coordinated through federal prosecution that would transform individual case into legal system advancement. Precedent coordination ensures case contributes to law development while establishing enhanced protection for estate planning, transforming individual case into legal system advancement. The legal advancement framework that would ensure Thomas's criminal prosecution served broader legal system improvement while establishing precedents that protected family financial relationships and estate planning from future criminal targeting through enhanced legal protection and regulatory oversight. The psychological preparation that had been completed through therapeutic consultation enabled emotional strength and professional composure during family confrontation while maintaining focus on legal procedures and criminal accountability rather than emotional retaliation or personal vindication that might compromise legal standing or family healing. Psychological preparation enables emotional strength and professional composure during confrontation while maintaining focus on legal procedures rather than emotional retaliation. Therapeutic specialist Dr. Patricia Torres had confirmed through counseling that prepared comprehensive response to family crisis while prioritizing legal resolution over personal satisfaction. Psychological preparation enables emotional strength and composure while maintaining focus on legal procedures rather than emotional retaliation, preparing comprehensive response prioritizing legal resolution over personal satisfaction. The therapeutic foundation that would ensure criminal intervention serve justice and family protection rather than personal revenge while maintaining professional standards and legal procedure focus that honored both criminal accountability and family relationship preservation through appropriate legal channels. The family meeting itself had been proceeding exactly according to Thomas's criminal plan until the moment when Catherine Rodriguez's call exposed his systematic fraud before 12 family witnesses while triggering immediate federal investigation and institutional security procedures that would convert his apparent financial triumph into comprehensive criminal prosecution and family education about financial crime. This is Catherine Rodriguez from First National Bank regarding irregular signature patterns in trust transfer documentation. Catherine announced through speakerphone with professional authority that immediately captured family attention while Thomas's confident presentation transformed into visible panic as he realized institutional security had detected his systematic document forgery and criminal fraud. This is Catherine Rodriguez regarding irregular signature patterns in trust transfer documentation immediately capturing family attention while Thomas's presentation transformed into visible panic as institutional security detected systematic forgery. The banking intervention that eliminated Thomas's criminal assumption of success while providing family members with immediate education about institutional security and criminal accountability that protected estate assets and family financial relationships from systematic fraud. The evidence presentation that Catherine provided included comprehensive forensic analysis of signature forgery and document manipulation while explaining institutional security procedures and federal investigation protocols that would ensure appropriate criminal prosecution and complete asset recovery through professional law enforcement coordination. Forensic analysis reveals systematic signature forgery and document manipulation requiring immediate federal investigation and criminal prosecution, Catherine announced while presenting technical evidence that eliminated any possibility of Thomas claiming legitimate authorization or family financial management, rather than systematic criminal fraud and institutional deception. Forensic analysis reveals systematic signature forgery requiring immediate federal investigation, eliminating possibility of claiming legitimate authorization, rather than systematic criminal fraud and institutional deception. The institutional evidence that provided conclusive proof of Thomas's criminal behavior while educating family members about professional security procedures and federal law enforcement that protected financial institutions and estate planning from criminal targeting and professional fraud. But the most devastating revelation for Thomas came when federal agents entered the conference room to execute arrest warrants while family members realized they had been systematically deceived and manipulated through criminal conspiracy involving document forgery, professional fraud, and identity theft that threatened family financial security and institutional integrity. Federal agents executing arrest warrants while family members realized systematic deception through criminal conspiracy involving forgery, fraud, and identity theft. Federal Coordinator Michael Martinez announced during arrest procedures that provided comprehensive criminal accountability while ensuring family protection and educational demonstration of federal law enforcement. Federal agents executing arrest warrants while family realized systematic deception through criminal conspiracy, providing comprehensive accountability while ensuring family protection and educational demonstration of federal law enforcement. The criminal justice intervention that transformed family financial meeting into educational demonstration of federal prosecution and institutional security while protecting family assets and relationships from ongoing criminal targeting and professional exploitation through systematic fraud. The comprehensive evidence presentation that followed Thomas's arrest included digital forensics, financial analysis, and professional network investigation that proved systematic criminal conspiracy involving multiple federal crimes and regulatory violations that required enhanced prosecution and comprehensive asset recovery through federal coordination and institutional security. Comprehensive evidence includes digital forensics and professional network investigation proving systematic conspiracy involving multiple federal crimes requiring enhanced prosecution. Evidence coordinator Amanda Torres presented during family education that explained federal investigation procedures and criminal accountability while ensuring family understanding of legal protection and financial security. Comprehensive evidence includes digital forensics proving a systematic conspiracy involving multiple federal crimes requiring enhanced prosecution, explaining federal investigation while ensuring family understanding of legal protection and security. The federal education that provided family members with complete understanding of criminal investigation and legal procedures while demonstrating institutional security and federal law enforcement that protected family financial relationships from systematic criminal targeting and professional fraud. The family support services that were immediately activated through federal victim protection ensure that relatives received appropriate counseling and legal assistance while understanding their rights and recovery options during criminal prosecution and asset recovery that would restore family financial security and relationship trust. Family support services activated through federal victim protection ensure relatives receive counseling and legal assistance while understanding rights and recovery options. Victim Services Coordinator Daniel Rodriguez confirmed during family protection procedures that prioritized relative well-being while ensuring criminal prosecution and financial recovery. Support services ensure relatives receive counseling and assistance while understanding rights and recovery options, prioritizing relative well-being while ensuring criminal prosecution and financial recovery. The family protection framework that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability served family healing and education rather than creating additional trauma or financial insecurity that might otherwise compromise family relationships and individual recovery from criminal targeting and financial exploitation through professional fraud. As Thomas was transported to federal detention, while family members processed comprehensive understanding of criminal behavior and institutional protection, I felt profound relief knowing that federal justice had been served while family relationships could begin healing through honest communication and legal security that honored both criminal accountability and family financial protection. The immediate aftermath of Thomas's federal arrest had created comprehensive transformation throughout our extended family as relatives processed the reality that they had been systematically deceived and financially endangered while supporting what they believed was legitimate estate planning rather than witnessing sophisticated criminal conspiracy involving document forgery, professional fraud, and federal regulatory violations. Thomas Martinez has been charged with federal bank fraud, identity theft, money laundering, and criminal conspiracy. Federal prosecutor Patricia Martinez announced during media briefing that provided public education about family financial crime while establishing legal precedent for estate fraud and professional criminal accountability that serve community protection and victim rights advocacy. Thomas charged with federal bank fraud, identity theft, money laundering, and criminal conspiracy, providing public education about family financial crime while establishing precedent for estate fraud and professional accountability. The federal charges that ensured comprehensive criminal consequences while transforming individual family crisis into educational demonstration of federal prosecution and institutional security that serve community benefit and victim protection through professional law enforcement coordination. The asset recovery process that had been immediately implemented through federal coordination and banking security ensured complete restoration of family trust funds while additional criminal penalties addressed Thomas's systematic theft and professional fraud through comprehensive financial investigation and regulatory enforcement that protected institutional integrity and family financial security. Asset recovery process ensures complete restoration of trust funds while additional penalties address systematic theft through comprehensive investigation and regulatory enforcement. Asset recovery specialist Michael Torres reported during financial restoration procedures that proved federal law enforcement could protect family inheritance while ensuring criminal accountability and institutional security. Asset recovery ensures complete restoration while additional penalties address systematic theft, proving federal law enforcement could protect family inheritance while ensuring criminal accountability and institutional security. The financial protection that demonstrated federal investigation and banking security could serve family benefit while comprehensive prosecution addressed criminal behavior and regulatory violations that threatened both individual families and institutional systems through professional criminal networks. But the most significant outcome had been family recognition that Thomas's criminal behavior had endangered not just financial security, but the integrity of family relationships and trust that depended on honesty and legal compliance, rather than criminal manipulation and professional exploitation that corrupted family bonds and threatened generational wealth preservation. Family recognition that criminal behavior endangered integrity of relationships depending on honesty rather than criminal manipulation corrupting bonds and threatening wealth preservation. Family systems specialist Dr. Amanda Rodriguez observed during family therapy evaluation that documented positive outcome through criminal accountability and legal protection. Recognition that criminal behavior endangered integrity of relationships depending on honesty rather than manipulation, documenting positive outcome through criminal accountability and legal protection. The family transformation that demonstrated federal prosecution could serve family strengthening rather than division when based on legal justice and honest communication that honored both individual protection and family relationships through appropriate legal boundaries and criminal accountability. The community impact evaluation that had been conducted through federal investigation and regulatory analysis revealed that Thomas's criminal accountability had improved awareness about family financial crime while establishing community standards for estate protection and professional oversight that strengthened institutional security and individual family protection. Community impact evaluation reveals criminal accountability improved awareness about family financial crime while establishing standards for estate protection and professional oversight. Community specialist Daniel Martinez reported during social impact analysis that proved individual criminal case could serve broader community benefit through education and regulatory advancement. Impact evaluation reveals accountability improved awareness while establishing standards for estate protection, proving individual criminal case could serve broader community benefit through education and regulatory advancement. The community transformation that ensured Thomas's criminal consequences served social education and institutional improvement rather than individual justice while establishing enhanced protection for family financial relationships and estate planning through federal coordination and professional accountability. The professional sanctions coordination that had been implemented through regulatory oversight and licensing authorities ensured that Thomas's criminal accomplices faced appropriate professional consequences while regulatory standards were enhanced to prevent similar criminal targeting and professional fraud through family financial relationships and estate planning vulnerability. Professional sanctions ensure accomplices face appropriate consequences while regulatory standards enhanced to prevent similar targeting through family financial relationships. Regulatory Coordinator Amanda Torres confirmed during professional oversight evaluation that addressed both individual accountability and systemic improvement. Sanctions ensure accomplices face appropriate consequences, while regulatory standards enhanced to prevent similar targeting addressing both individual accountability and systemic improvement. The regulatory transformation that demonstrated Thomas's criminal prosecution could serve professional accountability and institutional advancement while establishing enhanced protection for vulnerable families and estate planning through regulatory oversight and professional standards that prevented criminal exploitation. The legal precedent establishment that had been achieved through Thomas's federal prosecution provided comprehensive framework for recognizing and prosecuting family financial crime while protecting victims from professional exploitation and ensuring appropriate criminal accountability that honored both family relationships and institutional security. Through federal coordination and regulatory enforcement, legal precedent establishment provides framework for recognizing and prosecuting family financial crime while protecting victims from professional exploitation. Legal development specialist Patricia Rodriguez confirmed during precedent documentation that transformed individual criminal case into legal system advancement. Precedent establishment provides framework for recognizing and prosecuting family financial crime, transforming individual criminal case into legal system advancement. The legal advancement that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability influenced broader justice system improvement while establishing protection standards for family financial relationships that prevented similar criminal targeting through enhanced legal frameworks and institutional security that served both individual protection and community benefit. The 6 months following Thomas's federal conviction had established comprehensive recovery while demonstrating that family financial relationships could strengthen through legal protection and honest communication. rather than weakening through criminal accountability that honored both individual rights and institutional security through appropriate federal prosecution and regulatory enforcement that served family benefit and community protection. Thomas Martinez has been sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for bank fraud and criminal conspiracy, federal judge Catherine Rodriguez announced during sentencing. Proceedings that concluded criminal prosecution while establishing legal precedent for family financial crime, providing closure that enabled family healing through justice and comprehensive asset recovery. Thomas sentenced to 8 years for bank fraud and conspiracy, concluding prosecution while establishing precedent for family financial crime and providing closure enabling family healing through justice and asset recovery. The federal sentencing that ensured appropriate criminal consequences while transforming family financial crisis into educational opportunity and relationship strengthening that honored both justice and family values through legal accountability and institutional protection. The trust fund management success that had been achieved through legitimate administration and family coordination exceeded all expectations while demonstrating that professional estate planning could serve family benefit when protected through legal security and honest communication, rather than criminal manipulation that threatened both financial assets and family relationships. Trust fund management success exceeded expectations, demonstrating professional estate planning could serve family benefit through legal security and honest communication. Estate specialist Michael Rodriguez reported during management evaluation that proved legitimate administration enabled family financial security and generational wealth preservation. Management success exceeded expectations, demonstrating estate planning could serve family benefit, proving legitimate administration enabled family security and generational wealth preservation. The financial validation that confirmed professional estate management supported, rather than threatened, family relationships when protected through legal frameworks and institutional security that honored both financial responsibility and family bonds through appropriate oversight and honest administration. But the most meaningful transformation had been personal growth that emerged from confronting family financial crime while establishing legal protection and institutional security that honored both individual rights and family relationships through federal justice and regulatory compliance, rather than accepting criminal exploitation or professional manipulation. Personal growth emerged from confronting financial crime while establishing legal protection, honoring individual rights and family relationships through federal justice and regulatory compliance. Personal development specialist Dr. Patricia Torres observed during therapeutic evaluation that documented positive outcome and emotional strength. Personal growth emerged from confronting financial crime while establishing protection, honoring rights and relationships through federal justice, documenting positive outcome and emotional strength. The individual transformation that proved family financial crisis could serve personal development and relationship strengthening when addressed through legal justice and institutional protection that honored both individual healing and family relationship preservation through appropriate legal boundaries and criminal accountability. The romantic relationship that had developed with Catherine Rodriguez during federal investigation had evolved into authentic partnership based on mutual respect for legal justice and family values rather than professional convenience or emotional dependency that might compromise individual achievement and personal development through healthy relationship building. Romantic relationship developed with Catherine evolved into authentic partnership based on mutual respect for legal justice and family values. Relationship specialist Amanda Torres observed during personal evaluation that documented positive relationship development based on shared professional values and legal commitment. Relationship developed into authentic partnership based on mutual respect for legal justice and family values, documenting positive development based on shared professional values and legal commitment. The relationship foundation that proved personal connections could strengthen during legal crisis when based on mutual respect and shared professional values rather than emotional dependency or convenience that might otherwise limit individual development. An authentic partnership through honest communication and legal justice commitment. The Family Financial Education Program that had been established through federal coordination and institutional partnership provided comprehensive resources for estate planning and professional oversight while creating community support that protected vulnerable families from criminal targeting and professional exploitation through financial relationships and generational wealth planning. Family Financial Education Program provides comprehensive resources while creating community support protecting vulnerable families from criminal targeting through financial Relationships. Education coordinator Daniel Martinez reported during program evaluation that transformed individual criminal case into community protection and family education. Education program provides comprehensive resources while creating community support, protecting vulnerable families, transforming individual criminal case into community protection and family education. The community impact that converted personal financial crime experience into family protection and education while demonstrating that federal prosecution could serve broader social benefit through educational programs and institutional security that protected vulnerable community members from professional criminal targeting. The institutional security enhancement that had been implemented through banking coordination and regulatory oversight will prevent similar criminal targeting while establishing improved verification procedures and professional accountability that protected estate planning and family financial relationships from systematic criminal exploitation through professional fraud networks. Institutional security enhancement prevents similar targeting while establishing improved verification and professional accountability, protecting estate planning from systematic exploitation. Security specialist Patricia Martinez confirmed during institutional evaluation that converted criminal case into security advancement. Security enhancement prevents similar targeting while establishing improved verification, protecting estate planning from systematic exploitation, converting criminal case into security advancement. The institutional advancement that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability served broader security improvement while establishing enhanced protection standards that prevented future criminal targeting through improved institutional procedures and professional oversight that served both individual protection and community benefit through regulatory advancement. The community leadership role that had developed through victim advocacy and financial crime education provided opportunities to share legal protection strategies while helping other families recognize professional manipulation and prevent criminal targeting through estate planning vulnerability and family financial relationships that might otherwise enable systematic exploitation. Community leadership role provides opportunities to share protection strategies while helping families recognize manipulation and prevent targeting through estate planning. Vulnerability advocacy specialist Michael Torres reported during community outreach evaluation that transformed personal criminal case experience into victim protection and family education that served broader social benefit. Leadership role provides opportunities to share protection strategies while helping families recognize manipulation, transforming personal criminal case into victim protection and family education, serving broader social benefit. The community impact that converted individual criminal victimization into family protection and education while demonstrating that federal prosecution accountability could serve broader social advancement through victim advocacy and community education that protected vulnerable families from professional criminal targeting. The professional development opportunities that had emerged through federal coordination and institutional partnership included speaking engagements and consulting relationships that utilized personal experience with family financial crime to educate legal professionals and financial institutions about recognizing and preventing systematic criminal exploitation through professional networks and family relationships. Professional development opportunities include speaking and consulting utilizing personal experience to educate legal professionals about recognizing and preventing systematic exploitation. Professional coordinator Amanda Rodriguez reported during career development evaluation that proved criminal case experience could serve professional advancement and community protection. Professional development includes speaking and consulting utilizing personal experience to educate legal professionals, proving criminal case experience could serve professional advancement and community protection. The career transformation that demonstrated criminal victimization could become catalyst for professional recognition and social contribution through victim advocacy and educational service that honored both individual achievement and community protection through legal expertise and institutional knowledge. But the most profound transformation had been understanding that Thomas's criminal behavior had ultimately revealed family strength and legal resilience that enabled comprehensive protection and institutional advancement, rather than accepting criminal exploitation as inevitable family reality or professional limitation that might otherwise compromise financial security and relationship integrity. Thomas's criminal behavior revealed family strength and legal resilience, enabling comprehensive protection and institutional advancement, rather than accepting criminal exploitation as inevitable. Resilient specialist Dr. Daniel Martinez reflected during family strength evaluation that documented positive outcome and growth through legal justice and federal protection. Criminal behavior revealed family strength and resilience, enabling comprehensive protection and institutional advancement, rather than accepting exploitation as inevitable, documenting positive outcome through legal justice and federal protection. The family development that proved criminal crisis could serve family strengthening and institutional advancement when addressed through appropriate legal protection and federal justice that honored both individual rights and family relationships through regulatory compliance and professional accountability. The estate planning transformation that had been achieved through legal protection and institutional security demonstrated that professional financial management could serve generational wealth preservation and family relationship strengthening when protected through appropriate oversight and regulatory compliance that prevented criminal targeting and professional exploitation. Estate planning transformation demonstrates professional financial management could serve wealth preservation and relationship strengthening through appropriate oversight and regulatory compliance. Estate specialist Patricia Rodriguez confirmed during planning evaluation that proved legitimate administration could serve both financial and family objectives. Estate planning transformation demonstrates financial management could serve wealth preservation and relationship strengthening through oversight and compliance, proving legitimate administration could serve both financial and family objectives. The financial validation that confirmed professional estate planning supported rather than threatened family relationships when protected through legal frameworks and institutional oversight that honored both financial responsibility and family bonds through appropriate professional standards and regulatory accountability. The federal policy influence that had been achieved through Thomas's case contributed to enhanced legal protection for family financial relationships while establishing improved institutional procedures and professional oversight that prevented similar criminal targeting through regulatory advancement and federal coordination that served both individual protection and community benefit. Federal policy influence contributes to enhanced protection for family financial relationships while establishing improved institutional procedures preventing similar targeting. Policy specialist Michael Rodriguez reported during legislative impact evaluation that transformed individual criminal case into federal advancement and community protection. Policy influence contributes to enhanced protection while establishing improved institutional procedures, transforming individual criminal case into federal advancement and community protection. The legislative impact that ensured Thomas's criminal accountability influenced broader legal system improvement while establishing protection standards for family financial relationships that prevented future criminal targeting through enhanced federal frameworks and institutional security advancement. The therapeutic foundation establishment that had been created through family counseling and legal education provided ongoing support for families affected by financial crime while creating institutional resources that honor both individual healing and family relationship preservation through professional therapy and legal guidance that address criminal trauma and relationship recovery. Therapeutic Foundation provides ongoing support while creating institutional resources honoring individual healing and relationship preservation through professional therapy and legal guidance. Therapy Coordinator Dr. Amanda Torres reported during Foundation evaluation that demonstrated criminal case could serve lasting therapeutic benefit and family support. Therapeutic Foundation provides ongoing support while creating institutional resources honoring healing and preservation, demonstrating criminal case could serve lasting therapeutic benefit and family support. The institutional legacy that transformed personal financial crime into comprehensive family support while ensuring that Thomas's criminal behavior ultimately served positive social change through therapeutic advancement and family healing that influenced community standards and victim support services. The 3 years that had passed since Thomas's federal conviction and the establishment of comprehensive family financial protection had created lasting legacy that demonstrated how criminal betrayal could become catalyst for positive transformation when addressed through legal justice and institutional security rather than accepting systematic exploitation as inevitable family reality or professional limitation. Family financial protection establishment demonstrates positive transformation through legal justice and institutional security rather than accepting systematic exploitation as inevitable transformation. Researcher Dr. Catherine Rodriguez documented during longitudinal study that established our family recovery as model for addressing professional financial crime through federal coordination and regulatory advancement. Financial protection establishment demonstrates positive transformation through legal justice and institutional security rather than accepting exploitation as inevitable, establishing family recovery as model for addressing professional financial crime. The academic recognition that honored family recovery while establishing our experience as educational framework for financial crime prevention and family relationship restoration. That influenced federal policy and institutional security advancement through victim advocacy and community protection. The generational wealth preservation that had been achieved through legitimate estate planning and family coordination exceeded all expectations while establishing grandmothers' financial legacy as foundation for family security and cultural values through legal protection and honest administration rather than criminal appropriation that might compromise both financial assets and family integrity. Generational wealth preservation exceeded expectations, establishing grandmother's legacy as foundation for security and cultural values through legal protection and honest administration. Estate heritage specialist Michael Torres reported during preservation evaluation that proved legitimate planning could serve both financial and cultural objectives through appropriate legal frameworks. Wealth preservation exceeded expectations, establishing grandmother's legacy as foundation for security and values, proving legitimate planning could serve both financial and cultural objectives through appropriate legal frameworks. The financial validation that demonstrated professional estate management supported rather than threatened family traditions when protected through legal justice and institutional oversight that honored both financial responsibility and cultural heritage through appropriate stewardship and family coordination. But the most profound understanding had been recognizing that Thomas's systematic criminal behavior had ultimately revealed family resilience and legal protection capabilities that exceeded any challenge or threat, while establishing community leadership and institutional advancement that served broader social benefit through victim advocacy and criminal justice improvement. Thomas's criminal behavior revealed family resilience and protection capabilities exceeding any challenge while establishing community leadership serving broader social benefit through advocacy and justice improvement. Resilience specialist Dr. Amanda Rodriguez reflected during comprehensive evaluation that documented exceptional positive outcome through legal protection and federal coordination. Criminal behavior revealed family resilience and protection capabilities exceeding any challenge while establishing community leadership serving broader social benefit through advocacy and justice improvement, documenting exceptional positive outcome. The transformation understanding that proved criminal crisis could serve family empowerment and community advancement when addressed through appropriate legal protection and federal justice that honored both individual rights and social responsibility through institutional advancement and victim advocacy. The marriage ceremony that Catherine and I had celebrated the previous autumn had united two legal professionals whose partnership was based on mutual respect for federal justice and family financial protection rather than professional convenience or emotional dependency that might compromise individual achievement and authentic relationship development. Through shared commitment to legal integrity. Marriage ceremony united legal professionals whose partnership based on mutual respect for federal justice and family protection rather than convenience or dependency. Relationship specialist Dr. Patricia Torres observed during partnership evaluation that documented authentic relationship development based on shared professional values and legal commitment. Marriage united legal professionals whose partnership based on mutual respect for federal justice rather than convenience, documenting authentic relationship development based on shared professional values and legal commitment. The relationship foundation that proved personal partnerships could strengthen professional achievement and social contribution when based on mutual respect and shared commitment to legal justice rather than emotional dependency or convenience that might otherwise limit individual development. An authentic partnership through honest communication and professional integrity. The family financial foundation that had been established through estate protection and legal advocacy provided ongoing resources for vulnerable families while creating institutional framework that honored both individual rights and community protection through federal coordination and regulatory advancement that served lasting social benefit and victim advocacy. Family Financial Foundation provides ongoing resources while creating institutional framework honoring individual rights and community protection through federal coordination and regulatory advancement. Foundation Coordinator Daniel Martinez reported during impact evaluation that demonstrated individual criminal case could serve lasting community benefit. Financial Foundation provides ongoing resources while creating institutional framework honoring rights and community protection, demonstrating individual criminal case could serve lasting community benefit. The institutional legacy that transformed personal financial crime into comprehensive community protection while ensuring that Thomas's criminal behavior ultimately served positive social change through institutional advancement and family protection that influenced federal policy and victim advocacy programs. The professional recognition that had been achieved through victim advocacy and financial crime education included federal consultation opportunities and legal expertise. Development that utilized personal experience with family financial crime to advance justice system improvement and institutional security that protected vulnerable families and community members from professional criminal targeting. Professional recognition includes federal consultation and expertise development utilizing personal experience to advance justice system improvement and institutional security. Professional development specialist Amanda Torres reported during recognition evaluation that proved criminal case experience could serve federal advancement and community protection. Professional recognition includes federal consultation utilizing personal experience to advance justice system improvement, proving criminal case experience could serve federal advancement and community protection. The career advancement that demonstrated criminal victimization could become catalyst for federal service and community protection through professional expertise and legal knowledge that honored both individual achievement and social responsibility through institutional advancement and victim advocacy that served broader justice improvement. As I reflected on complete transformation that had occurred through legal response to Thomas's criminal behavior, while family relationships flourished through honest communication and federal protection, I understood that financial crime and professional betrayal had ultimately provided catalyst for discovering authentic family strength and community leadership that exceeded any previous achievement or personal development. The trust fund that Thomas had tried to steal through systematic criminal fraud had become foundation for family security and community protection while serving reminder that legal justice and institutional security could strengthen rather than threaten family relationships when protected through appropriate federal coordination and regulatory accountability that honored both individual rights and family values. In the end, Thomas's assumption that professional networks could enable successful financial crime had proven as incorrect as his belief that family manipulation could override federal banking security and institutional protection that safeguarded legitimate estate planning and generational wealth preservation through comprehensive legal frameworks and regulatory oversight. The federal prison cell where Thomas reflected on criminal consequences served reminder that financial crime carried serious federal accountability while family relationships and institutional security required honesty and legal compliance rather than criminal manipulation that threatened both individual families and community protection through systematic exploitation and professional fraud. Justice had been achieved not through family division, but through federal protection that served both individual rights and community security, while demonstrating that criminal accountability could strengthen rather than weaken family relationships and institutional integrity through legal justice and regulatory advancement that honored both family values and social responsibility. Some betrayals reveal that apparent victims possess federal protection and institutional support that exceed their criminals' expectations while serving purposes larger than individual justice through community advancement and legal system improvement that honor both family relationships and social responsibility through federal coordination and victim advocacy. The family gatherings that now occurred celebrated authentic relationships and legal security rather than criminal manipulation, serving reminder that legitimate financial planning and federal protection could support both family traditions and community values through honest communication and regulatory compliance that honored both individual rights and generational responsibility.